Go ahead.
What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and you are watching The Awakening World. It's our Saturday night edition, and I'm really excited about tonight's show. You know, one of the great blessings of my life is through the Global Peace Tribe. I get to collaborate with all these other wonderful organizations. And one of those great organizations is Pathways to Peace. And we're going to learn all about Pathways to Peace tonight. About 2 months ago, we were collaborating with Unity Earth, and I was watching some of the programs, and I was watching the program that Tez Gabriel was doing, and I saw all these amazing young people coming up one after another that were like the next generation. And I said, that is an Awakening World show. So I reached out to Tez right away. She said, Scott, I'm in the middle of doing it right now. I said, no, but I want to set a date. She said, give me a week. So I gave her a week. We set the date for today, December 2nd, and here it is. And then as I was thinking about, here we are going to have all these wonderful young people that you're going to meet today, I thought, wouldn't it be great if Chief Phil Lane would join us? Because Brother Phil is he really is the elder that I have the greatest respect for, and is really the lighting the way, literally, for our entire community, our global peace tribe. And I reached out to Phil, and he said yes. So we're going to get to hear from Chief Phil Lane, who will also do a powerful prayer. And we'll talk a little bit about that image that's behind me. But to continue and to kind of learn more all about Pathways to Peace, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Tez Gabriel. Hi, Tez. Here we are.
Hi, Scott. Here we are after 2 months. And here are some of our next generation peace builders. I'm just so very honored and delighted that you've given us a platform for these wise voices to come forward. And so, yes. And so while we don't have everyone here tonight, we had several who couldn't make it, a couple emergencies, other folks who are working. I always say that the right people are in the right place at the right time. And so I'm just so very honored that each of the young peace builders, the young peace leaders that are here tonight are actually here tonight. So thank you to all of you. You're very busy. It's really interesting because a lot of times people will say to me, oh, we'd love to have, one of your youth come and volunteer to do this or that. And I always say, our youth are really busy. They're not only busy in school, they're busy with extracurriculars, they're busy with their peace building activities. And so they're very busy. So yay for those of you who made it here. And so, Scott, I know you wanted me to talk a little about Pathways to Peace and our work with youth. So I want to say that Pathways to Peace has integrated youth into all levels of Pathways to Peace programming since our inception. Our very first council in 1983, when we founded Pathways to Peace 40 years ago, had a 12-year-old council member. Today, we have 2 young council members who are incredible peace leaders who came to us in middle school and now are seniors. And that is Mia Rodriguez, who could not be with us today, but Garrett Nolan is, and you'll be hearing from Garrett. So he's been with us for several years. Emma has also been with us for several years and is very actively engaged with Pathways to Peace, as well as her own peace building activities. So a lot of times people will say, we have to engage youth because youth are our future. And while that statement is true, I want everyone to know that youth are our now, that it is youth that are leading some of the major global initiatives, challenging some of the greatest barriers to peace around our world. And so my job, in a minute, I'm going to introduce Mr. George Anthony and Mr. Rockman. But my job is to really simply provide a platform for the voices of our youth to be heard. And we know that it's not about, even though our youth have been mentored by some amazing people, you'll hear from 2 of them tonight, that it's not about the adults teaching our youth. It really is about cross-fertilization. I always tell them that I learn more from them than I could ever teach them. So it really is about coming together intergenerationally. And that's how we have always worked. So our work at Pathways to Peace, as you know, is both local and global, intergenerational, cross-cultural. We are a peace messenger organization in consultation with ECOSOC and the Department of Global Communications. But our work stretches beyond the UN with projects and programs bringing peace and challenging the barriers to peace around our world. We feel incredibly excited about the fact that we are celebrating 40 years of building peace, bringing innovation and movement building around the world on December 8th. That is our 40-year anniversary. And so we're celebrating that with a 24-hour candlelight vigil that's virtual. And so we invite everyone here to come in. In a little while, I'll put that flyer into her, or Emma will probably beat me to it because she's our technology guru in the group. But we invite all of you to drop in. We're going to create a sacred space. We'll have a sacred fire and meditation music. We'll have an opening and a closing ceremony, and it will begin at 8 a.m. Pacific time on December 8th and conclude at 8 a.m. Pacific time on December 9th. So we invite you to drop in, light a candle, state your intention for peace, and either stay for a while or leave. But we need all of our collective intentions to to move peace forward in our world today. And we talked about big celebrations, and we decided, because of all the conflict in the world today, that the best way we could celebrate our 40 years is by collective intention for peace. So, yeah. So I'm sure you have some other questions. That's a little bit about us. And I know we can put our website in the chat so you can take a look. We've got some really exciting programs, our nuclear disarmament program in Albania, our girls shelter that we just opened in Guinea for girls who say no, and they're very brave to say no to female genital mutilation and are homeless as a result. And so we're providing shelter there. It's a very heart-based program that's occurring there. And we'd love you to learn more about that, as well as some of the amazing peace building education that Mr. George Anthony does. And so you'll be hearing more about that as well. So in addition to all the other stellar guests here that we're so delighted to be in company with, I'm particularly thrilled that Pookie and Bob are here, because I just love them dearly, and they know that. And Chief Phil, we are so honored that you are here with us today. And, you know, as we honor these peace leaders, these young peace leaders, what I always say is, I quote, even quoting you, Chief Phil, that when we honor one, we honor all. And so with our youth that are represented here tonight, we honor all youth who are actively engaged in bringing peace to our world. And so let us be with all of them, some of them working in the most dangerous areas of our world. And so as we honor them, we honor all. And I would say, Scott, that we brought to you today our youngest, who we call our student reps. But we could have a whole other show on our, 21 to 29 youth representatives to the UN who are out there doing incredible work in the world. And so we'll see what happens next, right?
Well, I tell you what's going to happen next is Bob and Pookie Lee are going to get us going with some music, and then we're going to turn it over to Chief Phil Lane, and then we're going to meet George and your young people. So we also, not to interrupt, Scott, but we also, George is going to be speaking with Mr. Tawheed Rahman, who is also a mentor of some of the young people on our show tonight. So with that, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Tez. And as those of you who are regulars know, we always have lots of music on our show. Tonight's going to be a very musical show. And I am delighted that Bob and Pookie Lee are back with us, two of our absolute favorite musical artists. And how perfect that you guys are here on the same show with Tez and her kids.
I love it so much. Oh my goodness. And then to have like young people who are transforming the world in profound ways, And it's beautiful to have a representation of what's happening all over the world. So many young people are catching a vision for humanity that is just amazing. And I'm so happy to be witness tonight to some of the up and coming youth leaders. And as you know, our world is transforming into something really beautiful. And it's so exciting to hear about all of the projects that are going to be supported in tonight's show. So thank you so much, Tez, for bringing these amazing youth, for all of us to just really support the vision that you're holding. And, I think more than anything, it gives us hope. in our future, and that we are moving through some really interesting times, and the youth, they have the answers, and they're different from our answers, but they're perfect because this is their time, and so it's so powerful to be able to listen to the voices of the generation that is going to be standing in full leadership of this beautiful Mother Earth once we're gone. So I'm excited. And so, I am all about making a difference in the world, and you know we each have the ability, we each have the power within us to make a difference, to leave the world a better place, to do something, to be an answer to a problem, to be a solution, to be a voice of hope, and there's so many things that we can do. And we're going to learn about them tonight, and so years ago I wrote this song about being responsible and how we are responsible for leaving the world a better place, for being better humans, for learning how to love more, and we can all make a huge contribution, especially right now as the world is turning more and more to love and compassion and healing and wholeness. Right? So did you want to say anything, babe?
Yeah, Scott and everyone here in the Zoom room and watching on many areas on Facebook. It's great to see you all and to be with you. The last time we were on the show, if you remember, we were all in the same room in Los Angeles. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we got to do it from a distance, but the connection is still just as strong. And so it's good to be back with you. And yeah, I'm ready to play this original song here.
Okay, let's do it.
Go ahead, hit the reverb button there, dear. All right.
Responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Looking around the world, and what do I see? So many things in a state of need, pain and suffering all around me. I won't stand by and just let this be, 'cause I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Everywhere, everyone wants to be free. Some look around and say, it's not me. How can they close their eyes and not see? It all comes down to me. Why? Because I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible, I'm capable, incredible, responsible. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible, I'm capable, incredible, responsible. 'Cause I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible to leave the world a to leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. What are we gonna do? We're gonna leave the world a better place. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that is a perfect first song for tonight, isn't it? Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's true. Bob and Pookie were with us at our last retreat in Los Angeles. It was great to be with you in person. Again, part of the connected to the Evolutionary Leaders Network thing was there, and Ben Bowler and Unity Earth, all these wonderful groups and organizations coming together. And we're going to have more Bob and Pookie, but I want to let people know how you can get their music. And are you still doing your Sunday morning program also?
We are, yeah, on my YouTube channel. Yeah, every Sunday morning. We've been almost 3 years now. Every Sunday we stream live at 10 a.m. Eastern for anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. We play songs, we deliver a message.
Have a good time.
We interact with people live in the chat, and that's on my YouTube channel, where I primarily post and upload affirmation recordings and guided meditations and things like that. It's become a pretty popular channel too, with like 368 some odd thousand subscribers and 1 million views a month, reaching a lot of people with an uplifting message. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, it keeps growing. Every time I come on the show, it's a higher number. So that's a good trend. Yeah, but just search for, if you want to find the channel there, just search for my name. Yeah, Bob Baker, Baker. Pookie also has her own separate channel that she does her own thing on. She's posting some amazing things. There it is, right there.
Oh, there it is. There's the Bob Baker channel.
The 10 most powerful affirmations.
There you go.
10 most powerful affirmations of all time.
And you are the affirmation king. It's amazing. I remember the last time I looked at your channel, you've got so many beautiful affirmations here. Everything from subliminal affirmations, how to manifest money in 17 seconds. Wow.
That's pretty quick, huh?
Show's over. I'm going to watch that video right now.
Yeah. It won't take long. No.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, and for all of you guys watching on Facebook, come on into the Zoom room so you can get all these links and find out all these things. And it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. Come join us in the Zoom room. Bob and Pookie, I love you guys. I'm so glad you're here. And we're going to have another song from you in about 45 minutes or so.
Sounds
Perfect.
good.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
We'll be here.
All right. Well, I mentioned him at the very beginning, but I am really honored that Chief Phil Lane is with us. Phil's been a guest on our Global Peace Tribe shows going all the way back to the beginning, almost 4 years ago. He is the elder that is lighting the way for us, literally. And I'm going to bring him up and ask him to start by sharing with us about something very significant that took place a few weeks ago. It's this photograph. Phil, tell us about the lighting of the 8th fire, which you actually lit. It's, I know, the fulfillment of a prophecy. Tell us about what this really means.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, my beloved brother. So wonderful to be here, and be here when we're doing what is most important, that is honoring our 7th generation and all those sacred prophecies that promised they would awaken and lead us to peace on earth. So I thank you so much. The 8th fire comes from Anishinaabe prophecy that tells, in the first part of the journey of the Anishinaabe people, as they were led from place to place to the encounter of our relatives who came from Europe. And of course, we know that first of all, it's inevitable that we would all get together. The world's round. So in this interaction, the last 500 years, of course, many things happened. At the same time, the prophecy said that the 7th fire, in which we would come to this place where we would decide to step forward together in unity and ignite the eighth fire as a human family, and then begin the process, which we're in right now, of manifesting peace on earth. In the process, which we're in right now. So we've been praying about this for some time, and all of a sudden we got this invitation from these beautiful relatives in Mexico who are uniting all the indigenous people in Mexico, which is about a little over 24 million relatives, as well as the Afro-Mexicanos, which is another 4 million. So we're talking about around 30 million relatives that are being united. And they invited us to join them in Hidalgo, Mexico, to really join our movement of the union of the condor, hummingbird, quetzal, and eagle that was formed on March 21st, 2023. And so, of course, we responded. The universe responded in terms of providing the resources to travel there, to meet with these relatives. And on the 28th of October, 2023, together in unity with other members, all members of the human family were there. Pato and Antoinette were there with us, representing the relatives from Africa. There was relatives across the Americas who were there. There was relatives from Europe. There was relatives from everywhere on Mother Earth. And we came together, and on that evening, it was so beautiful. We ignited that fire. And that fire, which symbolizes the time when it's time to transcend the current adversarial, partisan, political model, so to speak, that's destroying our world, which, by the way, I would say in terms of spiritual qualities, is being caused by what some cultures call, or other cultures call differently, the masculine dimensions. And so out of that fire, you see this picture of a phoenix or a condor or a quetzal emerging from the fire. It was taken by a very dear sister. And from this fire, from these ashes, which is something, by the way, that is practiced everywhere on Mother Earth, those sacred ashes contain the intentions, the prayers, the feelings of those relatives who sat there together the 28th and 29th of October and lit this fire, and it continued to burn, and took the ashes. Now, these ashes began to travel. They went down close to the border of Guatemala. But what was really, really exciting was yesterday in the desert outside of Dubai, our beloved brother, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, with a whole circle of relatives, ignited the eighth fire there at COP28 on the desert. And to see the incredible unity this emerged. As well, although the fire has been lit yet, ashes were taken directly by private plane from Hidalgo directly to Israel. I look forward to that time when that fire might be lit. The ashes were taken there. So what we're unfolding is, as these fires are being ignited everywhere in Mother Earth, those ashes have within them the intention, the prayers of all who are part of this whole understanding that really we're all indigenous peoples of Mother Earth, each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is born of sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. Each and every one of us. And the prophecies, to bring this back to where we're at tonight, the prophecies are very clear. There would emerge, along with what we call seventh generation thinking, that is, when you think 7 generations in the future before you make a decision, that a 7th generation would arise upon this Mother Earth. And they're ready, sitting right here. Right here. And as my uncle Vine Deloria so beautifully said, he said, any civilization in the future will be evaluated or regarded by how they treat those at the twilight of their lives and those at the sunrise of their lives. And so these young people here represent the future. And as my father always told me when I was about 18, he said, son, we're only here for a brief time. And it's true. I look in the mirror and I said, how in the world did this ever happen? And you talk to anybody else in their 80th year or beyond me, you're going to say the same thing. So we have these young people. I just want to say that there's, and also to Pookie and Bob and all those beautiful music we have. Our elders say we have 4 symbol systems by which we mediate our experience with this world of time and space and the unseen world. Of course, we know that we can, how many billions of light years things seem to be apart in terms of light years. Everything in this universe can be measured through mathematics, everything. That symbol system. Now, how do we mediate the experience with ourselves as human beings? Through spoken and unspoken language. Now, here's the one that's so beautiful. How do we mediate our experience with the spiritual world, the unknown world, the unseen world? It's through the arts, music, dance, painting, all those things. And when you combine them, which we did in the lighting of the 8th fire, all the dimensions were there. The dancing all night long when we ignited this, the prayers, the songs, all that summoned the power of our Creator that's waiting to help each and every one of us once we ask for that assistance to come forward. And so think about this. How is it that hundreds of thousands of people and us here tonight are going to enjoy such beautiful music? Because it's connecting us to that world beyond time and space, that world that transcends the murmur of syllables and sounds in the world of names. And then the 4th one is, how do we mediate experience with ourselves? The elders said that's through our dreams. Dreams. So what dreams are we going to have tonight? Let's have some good ones. Let's have some beautiful dreams. And so,
Bill, would you be willing, we've got the Twin Ray global group that come in every Saturday night for our meditation.
yes,
They're with us watching now. And of course, the beloved Twin Ray were with you for the lighting
yes,
of the 8th
absolutely.
fire. Yeah, so Shekinah and Sanandaji were with you.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
and
I
we
gotta
have
thank, yeah, I
a
gotta
lot of their community are with us right now. And
Beautiful.
we would be wondering, would you be willing to lead a prayer for us, please?
Would you like me to lead a prayer?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Because you give the best
There's so
prayer
many
of anyone I
beautiful
know.
people. There's so many.
Nobody gives better prayer than you,
Oh,
Chief
okay.
Phil.
And it's so nice to be the Twin Rays, to be with them on this journey we made. I want to really thank my Tush God, Brock Pierce, really dedicated person relative to uplifting our human family. I really want to thank him because without his support and assistance, we couldn't have got down there to Mexico. We were all together. Wonderful experience. Oten Kasha Wakantaka, Creator of the universe, most beloved one, all powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate, ever forgiving one, all just one, oh quintessence of beauty, oh ancient of days, oh blessed beauty. We call upon your holy power to touch each and every one of our hearts and souls with your divine love and understanding that each of us is a sovereignty, ancient and perishable and everlasting. Especially Creator of all good things, we call upon your holy power to embrace and infuse within these young people their divine mission upon this Mother Earth as prophesied. We give thanksgiving to all the tribes and nations of the East, from where comes the red sunrise, to come together in unity and harmony and peace. To the South, from where comes new life. We call upon all those tribes and nations to come together in unity and harmony, peace. The west, from where comes thunder, lightning, and rain. We call upon all those sacred relatives to join us in this divine weaving our hearts and minds together towards a vision to end war and begin peace. We call upon all those tribes and nations in the north, from where comes the cleansing white snow, to cleanse our hearts and minds from all that pertaineth to dust, and to wed us to your holy power fully and completely. We give thanksgiving to all those masculine spiritual qualities of life that brought us this time, but also we humble ourselves and realize fully that we must humble ourselves and embrace all those qualities, those sacred, divine, feminine qualities reflected by Mother Earth and her direct ambassadors, womankind, that we might truly become a whole and complete human being with a full range of spiritual qualities, and to understand that our soul has no gender, has no ethnicity, has no race, has no class. Our beloved soul is a direct reflection of the oneness of our Creator. Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal unto them thy great purpose. May they follow in thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, lead them not to themselves, but guide their steps with the light of knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their help in the Lord. Haole mi chante washte alo, shunk mano he meado, chinupasapa mido, haole mi chante washte. My names are Shunkmano and Chinupasapa, and I stand fully responsible before the Creator for my words and my actions. Aho. Aho.
Bill, I wanted to share a couple quick things. Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful prayer. And you've got a wonderful book coming out in less than 3 weeks.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this wonderful, The 7 Fires of Global Unity, Pathways to the 8th Fire, which was just lit, which you shared with us. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Yes. You know, drawn from, inspired by the Anishinaabe prophecy of the 8th fire, 7th and 8th fire, particularly those 7th and 8th fire, as well as a beautiful, beautiful reflection of the 7 fires of unity by Abdu'l-Baha back in 1912, inspired me to I don't know, just to write this book, which really not just addresses the 7 fires of global unity, for instance, the fire of global political unity, for instance, which is really about beginning with the nation states of Mother Earth coming together and making a binding treaty that there will be no more war. Binding in the sense that if any other nation state attempts to start a war, the others will stop, make sure that doesn't happen. The unity of thought globally, which we can see unfolding, how we're sharing all kinds of medical breakthroughs, scientific breakthroughs. We're sharing in the world of music. We're sharing in the world of sport. And the other fires of global unity, which are the foundations for moving to what we call the 8th fire, which is the really beginning of this incredible long prophesied beginning of the spiritual maturity of our human family, where we truly have transcended this idea that we're somehow divided as a human family. We are one. And so we're very pleased to and then also the 9th chapter, the most great peace, we really do our best to describe what does it look like when war has ended and all these vast resources are now invested into helping us to become the greatest human family we can in harmony with all life on Mother Earth. And so because of the incredible challenges we're facing, as we know, war, hunger, you name it, we're facing it. And it's getting not easier, but better in terms of how we're seeing things from another point of view. And because of that, we want to share this without any cost. It'll be a online publication plus a audio book as well. And we want to share that because we feel if people want to contribute to support the work of 4 worlds and the union of the condor, hummingbird, quetzal, and eagle, that's great. If not, it's not expected. It's time that we move forward together in unity and harmony. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. So, Mitakiyapi, my beloved relatives, I think I've gone on long enough. I think that the whole heart and soul my beloved relatives is. I think I've gone on long enough. I think that the whole heart. I think my voice is echoing back, telling me everything. I want to listen to these young people.
But before you go, I want to read just a couple of comments that have come in, Phil, because our audience loves you. So I want you to hear some of these. Ayada writes, "Dearest brother Phil, thank you for your potent and passionate prayer. Your prayers always feel like the air has been cleared and cleansed, and realignment with the divine is established. I love having you join us here with the Global Peace Tribe." Susan Bloomquist writes, "Gratitude, Brother Phil, for your beautiful prayer and such incredible words." And Don Drake writes, "Thank you for this most beautiful and potent prayer, Chief Phil." Grace Denise writes, "That was incredible. Such a wonderful and beautiful prayer. Thank you." And so people really appreciate you, Phil. And one way we can show our appreciation is by supporting Phil's organization. And it's the 4 Worlds Global Impact Fund. I put the link into the chat box. And it is important for us to donate and support Phil. You saw he's going to make his book free of charge online. As soon as you have that link, Phil, let me know, and I'll promote it here on The Awakening World, of course. And let's really help support Phil. So go to that link that I put into the chat box. It's his World Global Impact Fund. And it is important for us to support Phil Lane and the wonderful work that you're doing. I love you so much, my brother.
I love you, brother. And I look forward to joining us for the 4th year of Enlightening Our Way Together.
Yep.
The 15th, the 22nd of December. And I know Pookie will be there. So many, Pookie and Bob will be there. Others will be there. We'll see you. Love you. And I keep hearing my voice echo, so it's time for me.
Love you so much, Phil.
Love you all.
Love you so much.
Love you. I could bring this inside my soul, I would. I just go,
Tez, I'm turning it back over to you to introduce George and Emma.
Yes. And so before I do that, Chief Phil, just deep bow to you. Just a deep bow to you. I always, like all of us, am so grateful that we're here on the planet together and that you continue to nurture that fire for one humanity. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for all your incredible work over all these many 40 years. I've known you for 40 years.
Yes, it
When I had
is.
black curly hair.
Spin, you were in grade
Oh.
school together. Is that it? You're on the
Yeah,
elementary
yeah,
school
yeah.
playground
Well,
together? Is that?
maybe in the womb, who knows? Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
I said before the womb, we're all from the same
That's
divine.
exactly right. There is no separation. There never has been.
Never. All right, sister.
So, yes, thank you. So, before I introduce my dear peace brother, Mr. George Anthony, as the student reps call him, and Mr. Rakhmu, I do want to mention that we have our president of Pathways to Peace here tonight, and that is David Wick. Some of you might know David. He's been with Pathways to Peace all of the 40 years. And we're going to turn the floor over to the youth as quickly as possible. So David said he didn't need to say anything, but I want to at least mention that he's here. And I could never do my work if it wasn't for David. We always laugh and say that we dance really well together. So I'm just grateful you're here, David. And others have said, and I believe that peace is going to take the balance between the divine feminine and divine masculine. And so we play those roles out together in our daily work. So thank you, David, for being here. So now let me introduce Mr. George Anthony. George, I almost don't know what to say because there's so much I could say. So let me begin by saying that when it comes to our youth in Pathways to Peace, most of them would not be doing what they're doing without Mr. George Anthony. He has been a teacher, is a teacher. He is a mentor. He is a trainer of not only youth, but those who work with youth. Yeah, he's going to get teary and I'm going to get teary because he is extraordinary. He's worked with international students to create peace leaders. And he is the Pathways to Peace primary representative to the UN, as well as the head of the Pathways to Peace Global Leaders Institute, which has empowered and given a platform to our youth. And so George has done so much, but I'm going to stop there and give him an opportunity to speak. And George, I think it would be good if you could introduce Tawheed, as you have worked closely with him and the youth that he's mentoring. So George, you have the floor.
Thank you, Tess. And yes, I'm working now with Tawheed. He's really inspires me because in him I see the next generation. You know, I'm actually reaching a point in my age where I'm getting a lot older, and then I'm always looking for that next voice that I could sort of pass my teaching to. And Tawheed is really inspirational in the way he sort of mentors his students, and I see such great passion and potential in Tawheed. But let me tell you a little bit about my story and how I got here and why it's so important, my relationship with Pathways to Peace over these past 10 years and where we're going and what we're doing. My journey into peace building really was born out of a desire to provide answers for a senseless death that occurred in the streets of Brooklyn in 1989. A young Black youth, African-American youth named Yusef Hawkins, 16 years of age, was murdered on the streets of Brooklyn. And the papers the next day sort of referenced it in a way that, you know, it was in the wrong place at the wrong time, as if, that his death was as a result because he was I'll say it, an African American kid in an Italian neighborhood, and so I remember I was speaking to my colleague at that time, and I said, the newspapers have it completely wrong, completely backwards. He didn't die because he's African American, as much as we don't die as because we're Italian American, Bangladeshi American, Irish American, whatever it might be, First Nation people. You don't die because of your heritage, of your gender, of who you are. He was killed because the young men in that neighborhood had such hate in their hearts that they felt compelled that they can take a life of another. And that's not what we're not talking about that. And that's what we should be talking about. Where did this hate come from? How was it cultivated? And how did it get to this point that this young man was walking in this street and they took his life? And we're not talking about that. And that's one reason why a team of educators, including myself, was sent to Columbia University to answer that, to sort of learn the skills of conflict transformation and go back to the schools and put these skills into the hands, into the minds of young people. So another Yusuf Hawkins shouldn't die because of this. So that's kind of like the genesis of how I got into peace building, to sort of never allow this death to occur because of that. If I can do something about that, and not just myself, but my students as well. So that team, so I went back to Wagner, created a team, and that team of young students received such acclaim, I guess, that 2020 aired them on, Cruelty in America as one of the top programs in the country addressing conflict resolution and change within schools. Because of that work, I ended up working with another organization called Seeds of Peace, where I was working with teens from the Middle East, primarily Palestinian territories, and in Israel. And I'll tell you a quick lesson, one of a few lessons in my first coexistence training, where my job was to sort of break these young teens down from, take away their hate, break away the way they were conditioned to see the other, and to see the other as a human being. And I wasn't even started yet. I was in a team of about 24 students, and a young boy sits down next to a young Palestinian boy named Tony from Bethlehem, sat down in a chair next to a young teen from Afula, Israel. And it was a hot day, and this was actually taking place in Maine, a place called Seeds of Peace. And Tony looked at Eldad, the Israeli, and said, "Eldad, I see that you have a bottle of water, and I want you, and I'm hot, so I hope you'll share that water with me." And Eldad said, "Tony, I want you to understand something." He said, "This is my water. This water belongs to me. And you can sit down, but I'm not sharing this water with you." So I'm thinking to myself, I haven't even started coexistence training. I'm going to have an international incident in my hands. And Tony thought for a second, and he told me a lot in this pause. And he said, "My good friend," or their favorite enemy, because he used both references. He said, "I can see that this is your bottle of water, but I want you to know something. I'm going to reach for that water. And I know you're going to basically hold on to it real tight. So we're going to struggle. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to struggle over that bottle of water. And you may end up with that water in the end. But because of our struggle, you may realize there may not be enough water for either of us to drink. So if you're okay with that, then we'll be fine." And I thought, what a powerful metaphor, that you could still win and yet still lose. So in the essence of peace building is not just a thought. It's not just something that I need to believe in or want to achieve. Peace building requires action, but it also requires a liberation of the mind, to let go, to open your mind, to go beyond the barriers that we are facing today, the barriers of misinformation, the barriers of bias, the barriers of institutionalized racism, and barriers of infinite promise. If you give the opportunity, if you believe that I can make that change, I can create that change. Frederick Douglass tells us from his own writings, without struggle, there can be no progress. And peace building comes out of that idea of struggle, of the idea of liberation, to go beyond and to believe. in things. Even one of my Palestinian teens said to me, he said, Mr. Anthony, you're the first person who gave me choices to taught, because I was always taught this. And he also said, but please, he said, tell the world this. Tell the world, please don't ever take away my hope, my dreams of becoming a state, of becoming an individual, of having an identity. Please tell the world, don't ever take that dream away from me. Because if I have nothing to live for, then you're giving me something to die for. So those words follow me wherever I go. All right. I want all my students to believe that they can be the change, that their passions have purpose. And this is why Pathways to Peace and my work with Pathways to Peace is so important. Because what Pathways to Peace does is it provides a platform for young people where we train them with the skills to create that change. And we give them that amazing platform, whether it's the United Nations, whether it's today, where Tawheed and his amazing young students spoke at Rutgers University Lead Summit. That was also led by one of our UN representatives, Marlon Rosa. So I thank Marlon for really assisting us in that platform, because she worked with our students in providing them that platform to speak today. So this is what we do. And Pathways to Peace has been so effective. And I'll give you another example. I was at a meeting years ago, about 5 years ago, at Pathways to Peace. It was actually a meeting, a subcommittee meeting on International Day of Peace, where we were talking about the refugees that were escaping Syria, the war in Syria, and they were coming into Greece, they're coming into Turkey. And the biggest concern for the parents was education was stopping for my children. And that was the biggest concern. How are my children going to learn in these camps? And I brought 10 students with me to sit behind me in this meeting, 14-year-old students, 14 and 15 years old. And the next day I came into the classroom, I said, there's a blank board. I said, you heard their concerns. Find the solutions, but create them. Give them something that they can hold on to, something that gives them promise and hope. And what they did is they literally coded out an entire toolkit, a digital toolkit called the Educational Toolkit, that Emma can even talk a little bit more about, because she helped carry that further. But in this toolkit was lessons from K through 12, free lessons on English as a spoken language, engineering, algebra, all types of geometry, calculus, science, English, history, conflict resolution. So anyone can access and continue their education. And this was created by 14 and 15 students, giving it back to the world. So one of the things that we believe in Pathways to Peace is to provide a platform and provide a place where people like Adriana and Rachel and Emma and Garrett, where their passion has purpose, they can create projects that they believe, give it back to the world, and they cultivate these projects throughout their life. It's not just a one and done. It's something that we all do together, and Pathways to Peace supports them in their endeavors and cultivates. One of the things we really truly believe is that word cultivation. You cultivate that concept of peace and sustain it. And we sustain it by our leadership, providing them with additional leadership, opportunities for leadership, much like today, that occurred today at the Lead Summit. And tomorrow, Tawheed is going to be taking his students to New York City for the Model UN, another way of giving their voice to the world. So I know I said a lot, but these are things I'm passionate about. As an educator, I truly believe that our young people are tomorrow's leaders today. And but you have to you just can't say, can't we all just get along? You have to sometimes teach people how to do it, how to show them. And at the same time, teach people that the conflict doesn't define them. And I said that to some of my students today. I said, you're not defined by where you are. And I say that to my students also in the world who come from some of the most battle-scarred areas, that this moment does not define your future. This is a moment that you are part of. But you're better than this, and you go beyond that, and we will support you, much like we're doing with the students in Guinea, and much like we're doing with students in Newark, as well as in Middletown and Red Bank. This is what we do, and this is what we believe in, and this is what we're passionate about.
Beautiful
and
work.
Be passionate.
So beautiful work.
Thank you.
I want to let people know how they can support you and learn more. And that's your website, which is peacedynamics.com. Peacedynamics.com. And it's such important work that you're doing. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, and this is
and
all in
it's amazing.
partnership with TES and Pathways to Peace. It's a symbiotic relationship of passion and peace building. And this is why we've been so successful.
I am eager to get to the young people, starting with Tawheed. I know he's kind of in between. You know, Tawheed, what would you like to share with our audience tonight?
Right. Assalamu alaikum. I start with this because these were the first words about peace I ever learned. It means peace be unto you. Like you said, Mr. Anthony, the response is wa alaikum salam, which means and unto you peace. I personally don't gatekeep these words. I think these are universal words that anyone can say. So if I say assalamu alaikum to someone, I do not mind if anyone responds wa alaikum salam, because we're just exchanging words of peace. The word salam itself means peace. But it's also why I found it so odd in my life that people like my mother, who have always told me to see the good in people, or my father, who has spent all his life talking about wanting to create world peace, and other people of the Muslim faith are characterized as violent or aggressive, when our core word of greeting has always been salam, peace. So assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Tawheed Rahman, and I am and have always been a peace builder. I've been a peace builder ever since I attended Catholic school in the 5th grade as the only Muslim student in the entire class, and had my own awakening moment that the Abrahamic religions, these religions that have had so much conflict with each other for thousands of years, they really have a lot in common. Going to church with my other classmates and hearing the teachings of the Bible and the stories of the Bible, and thinking to myself, wow, these are almost the same as in the Quran. This awakening and curiosity went hand in hand as I explored other religions. I wanted to see if there were similarities between other great faiths that have had so much conflicts with each other. Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Zen, even Alan Watts' philosophy. And I realized how similar all these major faiths truly are. The similarity in which that all of us human beings are truly from the same source. Whatever that source is, whether it's God, whether it's Brahman, whether it's Atma, whether it's Yahweh, we're all from the same root. And it's also why I'm sad when I see people today argue on divisions that shouldn't divide them, but should unite them instead. Whether it be the conflict in Yemen, Palestine, Israel, Myanmar, most people I have met are focused on conflict and continuing conflict instead of resolutions and solutions. For these reasons, instead of pursuing the corporate life of computer science, IT, medical, which I usually could have done, I deliberately at high school decided to pursue a career that I knew would not net me a lot of personal happiness in the long run. But it would ensure that when I someday die, I have left a legacy in the world that's going to continue infinitely until the end. That career decision was to become a teacher. The goal of my work is to develop the largest peace infrastructure I possibly can on my time on this earth that will ensure everlasting peace for as long as it stands, and where my students can continue the work that I have left. My current project is my Model UN Club at the Newark School of Global Studies, where I work to empower my students to help move our future towards peace. At Newark School of Global Studies, we have begun fundraisers towards disaster relief efforts, and just today we have presented at the Lead Empowerment event to discuss ways we can empower women throughout the world. But I also try to teach them the importance of understanding, not hate. Every person you meet, whatever their beliefs are, they have a story. There's a story behind their mindset, their beliefs, and I urge my students to see the complexities of people instead of focusing on their faults. I believe that's how you can achieve change. It was Ralph Waldo Emerson who once said, "Peace cannot be achieved through violence. It can only be attained through understanding." Hate is a comfort zone. It's really easy to rant about how much we dislike a certain person, a certain group of people, a certain side in a conflict. You can go the entire day hating people. It's not that hard. But at the end of the day, this dialogue is pointless and always will have no practical end results. It's through tough conversations with the intention of understanding others that we can actually create peace. Through my own efforts at understanding people, I have confronted the same people who have called my family and I terrorists, misconstruing us with violence and evil. And I've helped change their minds to be more understanding of the Islamic faith. And I've also had productive conversations with people who I disagree with regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict, being pro-Palestinian myself. I'm not saying I convinced them to agree with my point of view. I'm saying I helped them understand my point of view so that they wouldn't resort to arguments that are fueled in hate. And I myself, through these conversations, have understood their point of view. And now we both can coincidentally discuss practical solutions we feel would resolve this conflict in the most peaceful way for all involved. I believe through these difficult conversations, with patience and willingness to understand others, is the key to creating everlasting peace in the world. And I wish that if there's anything my students learn from me, I don't care if they don't learn anything about history from me, if they don't learn about Model UN, the importance of obligations, responsibilities, attending things on time, whatever. It doesn't, if they don't learn that stuff from me, it doesn't matter. The only thing I care about is that my students will learn to work harder to try to understand others. And that's how I would describe my peace building efforts and how I'm going to continue to contribute to those efforts. Thank you.
Wow. It's so inspiring, as I knew it would be, to hear from you. And I especially just want to take a moment to acknowledge your choice to become a teacher. Because teachers are woefully underpaid, underappreciated, overworked. And it's a big choice you've made. And I really just want all of us right now to take a moment and appreciate you and bless you in that most beautiful and unheralded of professions, being a teacher. Thank you, Tawheed. Thank you. And I'm eager for us to meet our other students. So George and Tez, can you briefly introduce Emma, please?
We would love to. And so I'm going to begin, George, and then I'll turn it over to you because George has known Emma even longer than I have. Although I have known Emma for a very long time and I love her deeply. I met Emma when I was trying to work some technology for a big global youth event at the UN. Very, very frustrated, couldn't get the technology to work. And all of a sudden there was this middle school young girl sitting next to me and very shyly said, "Can I help you?" And I about threw the computer at her. And since that time, Emma has been near and dear in my heart, but also lives in the heart of Pathways to Peace. Her work for peace has been phenomenal. Yes, we may cry, who knows? It has been phenomenal. She's been awarded the Exceptional Young Woman of Peace Award. She is a leader in the Pathways to Peace social media team. She is a very active speaker at the UN and in other UN conferences. She is a recognized leader. And so I am just honored and delighted that you're here with us tonight, Emma. Even though Emma has strep throat, she turned up today to be able to speak with us. George, what would you like to say about Emma?
Yeah, Emma's been with me for many, many years. Her nickname when she was young was Sparks, because she's like a ball of energy. I've known Emma. Emma's been part of the program. Part of the Global Institute is that we work with middle school kids. High school kids work with middle school kids, and Emma was part of that middle school program. Came to Modern Day Prep Global Institute with a purpose. The purpose is to sort of to carry her vision. She'll tell you. I'm sure she'll share with you her vision. She's had this vision since she was a young girl to be part of the change, be a part of the solutions, at a very young age. So Emma is just a natural fit into this purpose, into this role. Much like many other students, like Emma, she's just a force, and we depend on Emma for that. So Emma, I'll turn it over to you and take it away.
Thank you so much, Tez and George. I swear I'm gonna cry right now because this is too sweet. So let me just start off. Hi, my name is Emma DeVies. I am now a freshman at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. I did, as George was saying, I did meet him when I was in 7th grade, starting at St. Mary's School in Middletown, New Jersey. And that was when I met Tez as well with helping with the technology. And when I tell you, when I was shy, I was not this ball of energy that Mr. Anthony was describing me as. I was a shy little girl who wanted to help because both of my parents work in technology and I wanted to help somebody in need with technology. And that was when this whole connection started with Tez, and I am grateful for it ever since. Then I went over to Modern Day Prep and part of the Global Leaders Institute program my freshman year of high school. I became a delegate for Pathways to Peace and the student representative representing all the students in Modern Day as well as St. Mary's, and I am thankful for Mr. Anthony for that. In my junior year, I was awarded the Exceptional Young Women of Peace Award. It was an opportunity that shined within me. I was so excited to be sharing my voice, to be sharing my passion for peace with the world, and having that and receiving that award blew my mind because someone like me thinking that it's not possible, it is possible. Having and receiving that award made it possible. And then my Modern Day Prep did shut down in 2022. So I went over to Red Bank Catholic in 2022, 2023 for my senior year, which is where I brought over the Global Leaders Institute program from Modern Day to Red Bank Catholic because I did not want to let that program die. That program meant way too much to me and to my passion. So when Tez came up to me and asked if I would be willing to speak at the Exceptional Young Women of Peace Award, I said, yes, absolutely, I will do it. And I informed my school, and my school was so interested in what I had to say about it. And they said, let's bring the program here. Let's get Mr. Anthony on the phone and let's bring this program here to inspire young students and young leaders into coming into the United Nations, into coming into Pathways to Peace. And from there, my heart just flew because from there, I knew that I was helping my community. So you might be thinking, what is my passion? What is my vision? And as George was saying, I've had this vision since I was very young. My vision is to help people in need. My goal is to become the first female president of the United States, which at this point might become the female president of the United States. I want to make a change in the world because growing up in education, it was hard. I have special needs. I have learning disabilities. So the education system was not forgiving for me. I want to make that change to help kids in need because it means so much to me that I help people so they don't go through what I went through. And as Mr. Anthony was saying, I started a project within Modern Day Prep called Mediascape, which is where we bring education programs, English, science, math, social studies, as well as conflict resolution and peace revolution skills, which is now what I'm both certified in, thanks to Mr. Anthony and Tez and working with Pathways. It has been so much improvement since then. We've been contacting people from all around the world, talking about peace resolution, conflict resolution skills. And from there, we've been going at it and making sure that kids all over the world can receive these skills. It is a lot, and I'm excited to continue and to start back up with that again. Being in college, yes, it is a lot, but I am excited to see where it could go. I've done so much for my community, and when I volunteer and people ask me, they're like, here, how much do I owe you? How much do I pay you? I usually don't take any money whenever I do my community service work, because seeing people happy makes me happy. And I always try to be that uplifting to that person, smiling to people, saying hi to them. It makes their day. And I've seen the change here on my campus because I've been doing that. I bring my energy, I bring my fun, my light, my everything out, and I show it on my face. And I'm like, hi, how are you doing? How is your day going? I hope you have a great day. And I have some kids come up to me, kids that I don't even know, and I didn't even know who came here, say, thank you for smiling at me that day. You probably don't recognize me or know me, but I was going through a tough time that day, and it made it 10 times better. So I wanted to say thank you for that. And that made my day, because knowing that a simple smile can make someone's day, it's amazing to see how much energy we can put into that. Also, as Tez was saying, I am part of the social media team. So any of the posts that you've seen on Pathways to Peace Facebook and Instagram have been posted by myself, as well as Katie Carr, who is having her little baby. And I cannot wait to meet the newest edition of the Pathways to Peace team and social media team. So I'm excited for that. And as well as Mia Glass, who is also one of my colleagues who does this. I cannot thank Pathways enough for what they have done for me and what they have supported for me. And in my heart, I know one of my mentors within Pathways was Avon Madison, who had passed away. And we honored her with a flag ceremony at Modern Day Prep in 2022. And we honored her legacy and her story and how much she had meant to all of us. Oh, Mr. Anthony, you still have the flag. So that flag was presented at Modern Day Prep in honor of Avon Madison. So seeing that flag means so much to me. Oh, geez. And just sharing and continuing Avon's legacy means a lot to me. And I'm excited to continue that legacy on. And it it means so much to see that these people, these young leaders that are coming into everything, that I can help that with that. I can help teach them. I can help show them the way that Tez and George have shown me. And taking what I've learned from the classroom and taking what I've learned from real life and bringing it out into the real world and seeing the change that needs to be made. And I'll leave you off with one more saying that I have been saying since 7th grade. Be the force that inspires change. Be the change that makes a difference. Because all it takes is one voice to change the world. And that couldn't be more true today. Thank you so, so much for this opportunity. Scott, George, Tez, you know I'm in your hearts. And anytime you need me, you know how to contact me.
Emma, two things I want to share with you before we let you go. First off, the very last public presentation that Avon Madison made was on a Global Peace Tribe show. It was our Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And she could barely, I can remember I did a sound check with her. She wasn't sure she could do the show. She came on, she did it, and she passed away about 3 weeks later. So there's a little special full circle here. And then what I want to do is I want to ask everybody in the audience right now, we're going to do one of my favorite things to do. We're going to build a sacred timeline between this moment in time and the moment in time that we're all watching you give your acceptance speech as President of the United States. And we're all going to remember, oh my God. And some of us will have been very active in your campaign. By the way, you're going to have to stop giving it away for free, though, because you have to raise a lot of money.
I do have to raise a lot of money, but that was when I was younger. Now I know the schemes and
Yeah,
negotiations
now you got
that
to
I can
start
make.
raising the money. But let's just all hold that vision. I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment and turn on your cameras, people, and let's all hold this vision of Emma as our newly elected, and who knows, by that time then it might not even be called president. It might be something more advanced, more evolved. But let's all hold that vision right now of Emma and the incredible life she has ahead of us, ahead of her and us. Maximum grace for Emma and her beautiful, beautiful work, and seeing her elected to the highest office possible.
This means so much. And when I say this means a lot, it does. When growing up, I said I have learning disabilities. I rarely had someone to back me up as a person and for anyone to stand up for me as a person. And seeing that I am a part of a bigger family, it brings me to tears. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this and how much I appreciate you, Tez, and you, George. This journey for me would not have happened without you guys. And I thank you both every day for what you have done for me. And thank you so much, George, for coming up to me and saying, hey, do you want to come to the United Nations? And for my little self saying yes.
Well, it goes, like I said before, peace requires work, and everyone can attest to that. We need each other. We can't do it alone, and that's what it's all about. That's why we are a community in communion with peace. So it's a blessed place, a very important place. And there's always more to do. More to do, Emma. So
more to do. The work's never done.
That's what George and I always end our calls with. Okay, let's get to work. There's more to do.
There's more to do. It's never done.
And so, Emma, I want to make sure to let you know that you've said such beautiful things, and I'm taking it all in about who you are in your life, and giving honor to me and to George and to Avon. And you need to know that we should never discount the power of inspiration. And you are an inspiration. So thank you for who you are and for inspiring us all the time. You are a living inspiration. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an amazing show. We're already 35 minutes beyond our agenda. So I'm going to come in and jump in because I've got to do one of our Global Peace Tribe announcements. It's very, very special. Talking about inspiration, one of the most inspired people I know, one of the most passionate people I know, has come into our Zoom room, and I'm talking about Zenka Caro. Of course, our Global Peace Tribers have seen Zenka on the show before. And a few weeks ago, I was in Las Vegas with Chief Phil, as a matter of fact. And I had the opportunity to spend all of Monday after the show with our good friend Danny Sheehan, who really updated me on what's going on with Congress. And I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let Zenka tell the story because there's something very exciting going on right now. And our help is needed. So Zenka, thank you for joining us tonight. Please tell us about what's happening and how we can support this important effort.
Thank you so much, Scott. So as many of you know, there's been a big organizational effort within the United States and around the world, and actually within Congress to disclose what we have known about extraterrestrial contact for the last many decades. And it's taken a lot of risk and a lot of courage to get this far. There was major acts passed 1 year ago, and now they're putting in the UAPDA, the UAP Disclosure Act, and it's going to be part of another bill. And it's going to allow for disclosure to happen over the next 7 years as more witnesses come forward. And it's really important that this becomes a law because of so much effort that has gone to this point right now. And it's at risk of being taken out entirely. So this is a chance for you guys to write your Congress people if you care about this issue and say, hey, 80 million people around the world believe in UFOs. 10% of the world have seen a UFO. This is time that we start to get to have an open conversation about what we know. So you can write your congressperson. It's going to happen in the next week or two. So it's important that you do it now and just say, hey, I want the UAP Disclosure Act to happen. And I'm a registered voter and I want this to happen. I also want to say that I'm going to be working on the Peace Game, which is Peace by 2030 game, happening all over the world. It's been happening in Afghanistan and Africa, and all over. People are creating peace on earth zones. And this is going to be going on January 17th for, I believe, 8 weeks on Zoom. And you get 3 people that you know together to create a peace on our zone in your own life. And it works with 7 different principles. You do meditations, you do actions in your life, befriending other people, doing all sorts of interesting things. And it creates a tipping point around the world, as you know, energetically. And then just as we're doing this, it's part of a Hopi prophecy. And David Gershom was one of the ones. He created I don't know if you guys remember, in 1986, there was a torch that went around the world. It was a peace torch. And 62 heads of state, or 62 countries participated, 45 heads of state. And 25 million people came together to watch this torch over the course of 86 days to create peace and to calm battlefields. So apropos of what we just heard, peace is possible. It's happening. I believe the extraterrestrials have something to do with it. They've shut down nuclear facilities as well because they want us to succeed in this beautiful elevation that we're about to experience. So these are really important issues, and it's super easy for you guys just to go look up your congressperson. If you email me at zenka@lightnet.org, I can give you a sample letter, but it's really just please approve this UAP DA Act. And also, if you want to join the Peace Game, you can also email me, zenka@lightnet.org, or just go to peace2030.earth and sign up to hear about it next Wednesday, and then create a team. There's going to be grants of $5,000 for teams in the next round after this. So it's a really good chance to create peace in your neighborhood and in your life.
Thank you. We had David on the show. He was a featured speaker
cool.
about 6 weeks ago.
Cool.
And we have him come back on, and we are promoting the big peace game that's going to launch again in January. So again, we're all dovetailing together in so many beautiful ways.
Yeah, thanks so much.
You are one of the most passionate people I know, and I just so appreciate your dedication. So thank you for jumping on. And
yes,
if you get a chance, stick around because we've got some other amazing young people we're going to meet.
Amazing.
So, thanks
so much, Scott.
I love you so much.
Okay.
All right. I feel like the ringmaster having to move things forward. It is time for Omoshar. How can we go? We've been on for 90 minutes and we haven't had an Omoshar song. No, that we got to change that right away. So get ready to move and groove to the music. And all of our young people, I want to see you moving and grooving. I'm going to put the spotlight on people that are dancing to the music. And I'm going to turn it over to my co-pilot, my beloved brother, Omoshar.
What a beautiful presentation. And what a nice insert, Zenka. That was pretty trippy. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. Vote. And Emma, I vote for you, sweetheart. I mean, really, I feel your passion. I feel your courage. And holy smoke, I think it's within all of us. And it just takes one or two lights to step forward to think, you know what, that's in me. I can do that as well. And so thank you, Emma. You rock. And let's rock a little bit, shall we? Here we go. time to clear these clouds from my eyes. So open your heart and dance along. I'm thinking it's time to stop that same old song. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms, lift her with my dreaming. Whoa, I left her with my dreaming. Whoa, I left her with my dreaming. Whoa. So don't try to hold me to what I was. I've traveled through time to see this day arise. The love that I am is here for you. So open the door and let the sun shine in. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her in my dreaming. Da-da-da-da. I lift her in my dreaming. I lift her with my dreaming. Da-da-da. So open the door and let the sun shine in. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. Da-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. What more could I be than what I am?
Going to gallery view. Let's all twinkle, beloved Omashar.
Thank you so much.
You're everybody for dancing and moving and grooving. Look at all these beautiful people.
It's so fun watching everybody because it brings them all into each of our living rooms and the life, not just the screen, but the life of each person. So thank you.
Absolutely. And hey, a reminder, we can get all things Omashar at his website. It's his name, omashar.com. And what you want to do always is scroll down, go to Bandcamp. That's the best place to buy his records. And for some reason, it's not letting me click through. There we go. I think my computer's going really slow, but there they are. Omashar's 5 albums. If you don't have all of them, go get them right now at Bandcamp.
Thank you, Scott.
We love you, Omashar.
Love you,
Omashar will be back for one more song a little bit later on. Given the way the show's going, that'll probably be sometime tomorrow morning. But it's a wonderful show. And I'm going to turn it back over to Tez to introduce Garrett.
Yes. Thank you, Omashar. That was wonderful. And it was great to move, right? To get a little movement going. And so it's my honor and delight to be able to introduce to you Garrett Nolan. Garrett, when I talked about having to council members who are young peace builders, really young peace leaders on our governing council for Pathways to Peace. Garrett is one of those. He came to us in middle school with a big vision that excited us so much. When we decided we needed to bring in some middle school energy into our governing council, I contacted Mr. George Anthony, who, George and I work like this. And I said, who would he recommend? The best and the brightest peace leaders. And he said, Mia Rodriguez, who can't be with us tonight, but is on the council, and Garrett Nolan. So Garrett, I'm turning the floor over to you, dear friend. You can take it away.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Tez. You and Mr. Anthony's support over the years have been so influential in my experience of peace building. And for that, I do want you to know I am truly grateful. Now, with that said, good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for taking the time tonight to be part of this meeting featuring so many wonderful peace builders. Now, we all know and realize that the world is not particularly healthy right now. Unfortunately, we're seeing horrible images of suffering on the news. And the problem is many people see these images, but they simply dismiss it. They'll say, what a shame, but then they'll continue on with their lives, not necessarily doing anything about the problem. But an awakening world dictates and honestly requires much more action than simply thoughts alone. There must be action. Now, it isn't always an easy task, and often it is difficult at best. But, creating positive change in the world can be done in ways big and small, from large global Zoom conferences like this one, to simple acts of kindness in our daily lives we may not even realize we're doing necessarily. Like holding the door, donating to the poor, talking to someone who has no one to talk with them. These are small but powerful ways to contribute to the awakening world. You see, whether we realize it or not, we all have our own unique talents which can be used as tools for peace, such as the performers we've had here on this call tonight. We all have unique skills, but the important thing is not only harnessing them, but doing so in a positive way. We must use our skills to be the light that awakens the world. Unfortunately, progress isn't something that just happens naturally, like many are led to believe. History doesn't just naturally get better. It takes commitment from heroes and activists like Rosa Parks, Gandhi, but also many other hidden heroes whose stories don't always get told. Luckily, despite its many changes, mankind has always had heroes to answer the call. I do truly believe there is much more good in the world than evil, but the key thing is getting that good out there to outshine the bad. But again, thankfully, there is more good than evil in the world, so the numbers are at least on our side. I went to visit my grandfather earlier today. Now, my dad and I always call him the day before to let him know we're coming. So we called him yesterday, and he didn't answer. So finally, we got in touch with him at about 7 p.m. at night. So naturally, the first thing out of my dad's mouth was, "Where the hell were you, Pop?" And it turns out that he was basically playing taxi to a bunch of the elderly people who live in his community. My grandfather is one of the few who still has a car and can drive. Well, too, I might add. But it occurred to me that he is in his own way being the change, and he doesn't even realize it. To him, it was just second nature. Someone needed a ride, he had nothing else to do, so he volunteered. This is the kind of change that leads to bigger changes. The seemingly small acts mean so much to the people on the receiving end of them. So here's my grandfather, an 86-year-old man, driving around playing a taxi, essentially because he could. And I couldn't help but wonder, was it his generation that was like this? Was it the way his generation was raised? But then I came to realize that it's something deeper, something within our human spirit, whether young or old, to help. And it feels good to help others out. So I guess my point is that if we can get more people to do what we do, maybe we might be responsible for training the next greatest generation in terms of humanity. You know, part of being the change is getting others to be part of the change. We can do this by talking to our friends about what we are doing here tonight, getting them involved, getting them interested. And we start small. Now, we're entering the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and least of all, winter. This is a time of year when the poor and vulnerable hurt the most. The poor are the hungriest, the homeless, the coldest in the winter, and the abandoned, the loneliness in the holidays. So I'd say it's a fairly good bet that most of us in this meeting are involved in local toy drives, food banks, soup kitchens, and the like. Part of being that change is bringing a friend to help you out, to be exposed to the work that we all do, them understanding the feeling of being the difference. We could do this by making plans with our friends to do something after helping, like getting a cup of coffee, going to a movie, posting on social media is important. Pictures of you and your colleagues loading food pantry trucks so your friends see them and say, hey, that looks fun. Maybe I should help. And now, one of the most important things is what happens when the season is over. Because I'll tell you, in my home state of New Jersey, it gets very cold in the winter. So a lot of times what happens is people will volunteer for these charities around the holidays, and then when the New Year's hit, they're left with no one to help. So let's take all that energy and roll it over to the new year. There is always work to be done. So let's try to keep all the help that we have in this short 5-week time span and hold on to it for the rest of the year. So in closing, I'd love to recite a poem titled Peace and Conflict by Sasha Julia. It reads, peace is laughter like a musical bell. Conflict is people crying. Peace is everything being well. Conflict is people dying. Peace is a very wonderful thing. Conflict can be used to pursue peace. Peace is a sound that makes you sing. Conflict is the least luxurious thing. Peace is sought after and sometimes found. Conflict is punishment, paying the price. Peace is being on safe ground. Conflict makes people with hearts of ice. Peace you find in your heart. Conflict tears our minds apart. So remember the words and you'll live well. Peace is laughter like a musical bell. And with that, I thank you all. Thank you.
Garrett, that was wonderful. And I just have to prompt one little thing. You probably know what I'm going to ask you to speak to. When Garrett was in middle school, he's a senior this year. When he was in middle school, he came to us with a big vision, and I said, we can make that happen. So, Garrett, what is your vision?
So my vision is to eventually become the United States ambassador to the Republic of Ireland. And hopefully, when Emma becomes president, she appoints me to that role.
I love that.
We'll see.
Well, same thing. Let's take a moment and hold that vision, creating a timeline between this moment in time and the moment in time in which Garrett is officially announced by President Emma that he is the new ambassador to Ireland. Maximum grace to you, Garrett. And I want to acknowledge what beautiful elocution you have. You are truly a wordsmith and a beautiful speaker. You have a wonderful life ahead of you. And I'm honored to meet you and to have you on the Awakening World. Thank you.
Thank you.
Such a good heart. So, yes.
Clearly, all of the people we're seeing tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to bring up George to introduce our next presenter, Alexis.
Yes, Lexi is also part of the Global Institute. You know, there's, when you're an educator, you kind of think about students who can come into your classroom and create that change, create a positive change. Lexi was played a big part of that. She's a natural, I would say natural leader, because all leadership requires time and effort. But Lexi is a force. She's spoken so well for us at the UN. She represents for us at the UN. And on top of that, she's an extraordinary musician, singer. So I'm just in awe of Lexi. I mean, my whole life, she came into my classroom. You can see it between Garrett, Lexi, Emma, and you'll see later with Rachel and Adriana. There's such great energy. And I like to surround myself with people with great energy. It helps me deal with the issues of the world, which just can bury me because the way I'm connected to it. So you need to surround yourself with the Lexis of the world who can lift you up and inspire you. And I'll leave it at that. So I'm honored to introduce Alexis Lombardo.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was a great opening. I don't know how I'm going to follow that. Hi, I'm Alexis Lombardo. I have been representing the youth at the United Nations and for peace since my freshman year of high school. I'm currently a junior in college at Pace University in Manhattan. And in all of my years, I have learned so much through all these people, and I'm just forever grateful. And I was asked the question of what's your vision of how you're contributing to an awakening world? And I thought about it deeply. And when I think of my contribution, I think of a time where I sang Rise Up by Day on a video that I had made to promote peace that was brought up to the UN, and they gave me the opportunity to speak to the legendary Yo-Yo Ma, who gave me some of the greatest advice I've ever received. And he explained to me that music plays to both the logical and emotional parts of our brains, and as musicians that we should use our gift to make this world a better place. And ever since that day, I've sang for peace whenever I can, and that's why today I am going to sing that song that got me here. So here is a cover of Rise Up by Day.
Well, since we've got something that we're doing now, what's the vision that our Global Peace Tribe audience can hold for you?
Oh, well, the dream would be to be a professional singer, but I do have visions of just amplifying others' voices as well. I hope one day to own and manage my own concert venue. So that's fingers crossed the hope and the end game.
Beautiful. Well, let's do that. Once again, I'm going to go to gallery view. Everybody, let's hold that vision of both. I think there's definitely room for both of those things to happen in her life. Both very successful career as a professional singer and supporting others to find their voice. So let's all hold that vision for Alexis. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Alexis. I'm going to, we'll get to the Global Peace Tribe announcements a little bit later. I want to get to our next presenter, our next student, our next young person, and then we'll go to Bob and Pookie, and then we'll do Global Peace Tribe announcements. George and Tez, I'm bringing you up, and if you would be willing to introduce Rachel.
I think we'd like to have Tawheed introduce Rachel, if that's okay.
Absolutely. So Tawheed, you got the floor.
All right, thank you. So, like I mentioned before, I'm a high school history teacher. I teach 10th grade, and Rachel was my student last year. And what I can say about Rachel, well, first of all, Rachel is currently the president of the Mali UN team. And the thing with me and choosing, so she wasn't elected. I handpicked all my leaders, my executive team, and all my students know I'm like very picky about that, and I have like really high expectations on my executive team members. And I specifically chose Rachel to be the president of the Mali UN Club because of how reliable and dependable she is. So for instance, like I know if I need Rachel to do an initiative or I need something to be completed on time, I can always count on Rachel to complete those tasks. and I can always count on her to be a reliable ear if I need advice on something or we need to like figure some sort of problem out. I've always found Rachel to be very dependable in these different aspects. And so with that being said, I can totally see her being a very accomplished diplomat. To be honest, like she can do anything she wants based on her performance in school, her outreach, extracurricular. She can do whatever she wants. She knows that. So without further ado, I introduce you, Rachel Harnaran.
Hello, Mr. Rahman. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I'm so glad that I could have been a great student to you. And to introduce myself, hello everybody. My name is Rachel Harnaran. I am a 17-year-old junior attending the Newark School of Global Studies, and today I will be reading an original short poem / spoken word. And my goal for this poem / spoken word is for it to spread the message on how we can all find peace as we grow and work together to spread it. Now, here, without further ado, is Bees and Pollination by me. Peace isn't always what people are surrounded by. Sometimes it's a stranger for the majority of one's life. However, as one grows and blooms into the flower field of life, they can break out of that shell of violence. They can learn and absorb, and they can build up peace from the shattered remains of that turmoil. Then once they have learned to thrive in that peace and that they have found, they can spread that peace throughout the flower field of life with the help of us all, like bees and pollination. Thank you for the opportunity to spread my message, and I hope that it can reach everyone.
Wow. That was very short. You still have a few more minutes. So, first of all, there's a beautiful, beautiful sharing. What else would you like for our audience to know?
So my end goal is to become a pediatrician. That career path combines both my love for science and for youth. And I also see myself continuing on the path of being a UN representative with the help of Mr. Anthony. And to be honest, I wouldn't be here without both Mr. Anthony and Mr. Rahman. I met Mr. Rahman in my freshman year, and I slowly was introduced to Model UN throughout my years, but during my junior years when I really started to get invested, and through the support of Mr. Rahman and Mr. Anthony, I have been able to attend different conferences like the Lead Empowerment today, earlier on today, and I can't wait to experience more conferences like that and share my dream for peace in the world.
Beautiful. Once again, let's just take a moment and feel our global peace tribe sending you our blessings. I didn't know we were going to do this, but I'm really enjoying it. So let's all send our absolute highest vision for you, Rachel. And thank you for the incredible being that you are, and maximum grace for you and for your beautiful life moving forward.
And I just want to say, can Rachel share the title of a workshop proposal that you're submitting for CSW 68? It's a powerful story. Yeah.
For that proposal, both me and Adriana are going to be presenting, and we have chosen a title that is Breaking the Silence and Empowering Women to Push Boundaries. And in that presentation, we will be talking about different ways to empower women. And I know that my part of that presentation is about human trafficking against women and the misinformation that is spread and how women can identify that misinformation and can feel as safe and be as safe as possibly. And I feel like when Adriana gets her chance to speak, she will be able to explain her part of her presentation more.
That sounds beautiful. And if I can piggyback on that, every year Pathways to Peace has had a youth presentation at the Commission on the Status of Women at the UN. And when we say a youth presentation, know that it's planned by and presented by our youth. And so we're just delighted that even though both of Rachel and Adriana are new to Pathways to Peace, they've jumped right in to be able to propose an event for the Commission on the Status of Women, as well as the workshop they did today, the LEAD workshop. So Rachel, thank you for stepping in to your power. We appreciate it greatly. You are an incredible leader.
I brought up Adriana. We're going to see her in a moment, since you were speaking of her, and beautiful introduction. But before Adriana, this is our Saturday night show. We do music on Saturday nights. And so to integrate all the wonderfulness, I'm going to bring it back over to our beloveds, Bob and Pookie, for their second song of the night.
Wow. What
How's the night been for you so far?
Oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. I feel like I'm getting younger every minute. Just to have all that energy. Wow. I really feel like we're leaving the earth in good hands.
Yeah.
You know, brilliant.
We're seeing our future tonight.
Mm-hmm.
In our
It's
present.
so perfect.
In our
It's
present.
so perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming, for what all of you are creating together and how we can participate and be a part of that. Yeah.
Madam President, we're gonna recite "We Knew Her When."
Emma. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Absolutely. So we're going to play a song now that's probably familiar to the ears of folks that are regulars at the Global Peace Tribe and the Awakening World.
Maybe they'll recognize it, maybe not.
They'll might recognize part of it.
Maybe.
Because they hear it at the beginning every time.
Well, now you get to have the full version of it, and it speaks to what is happening in the world right now and how we are showing up in really profound ways to support each other as we are unveiling this beautiful world that we are choosing to live in, that's anchored in love and unity and peace. Yeah, and compassion.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep. And so, you know, we are holding the vision for that which we are birthing right now, and this is all a part of it. So how exciting is all of that, right? Oh my gosh.
Let's
so wonderful.
And I know what song you're going to play. And of course, all of our Global Peace Tribers are going to recognize it because it's our anthem. So
it's the anthem.
You can now hear the full version of our opening song. Take it away, you two.
And get ready to dance and move.
Here we go.
If it inspires you. Here we go.
Now is the time for all nations to rise, united in one vision for all of mankind, standing strong as a force field of love and light, in peace and hope and harmony. We will unite. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, stronger than ever, not divided. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, hear the call, you are invited. Yeah, 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 you are invited. Reach out your hand to your fellow man. take a stand. We are strong when we walk the earth hand in hand, bringing hope and light and unity across the land. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, stronger than ever, not divided. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, hear the call, you are invited. Na 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 na, 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 na 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 na. We are united.
No, not divided.
Yeah, we are united.
We are not divided.
Yeah, we are united.
No, not divided.
Oh yeah, we are united.
We are not divided.
We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, stronger than ever, not divided. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, hear the call, you are invited. We come from the same source, a powerful love force.
I'm going to gallery view. Let's do some twinkling.
There you
There it
go.
is. There's our song every week, twice, 3 times a week. You hear that song,
That's
and
so
That is-
awesome.
you created it.
We are so honored, and we love that you play it every week, and it's such a joy to come and sing it. And you know, we've written a lot of music, and you know, we have so many amazing songs. However, in keeping with the theme of the evening, those were the two songs that were definitely the most perfect for supporting, you know, our young leaders as they're emerging, and just inspiring them, and yeah, as they inspire each one of us. So exciting. Thank you so much, Scott, for inviting us to be here. We really
Oh, it's so
always
good to have you
always
again
love
with
it.
us.
Yeah, we
Hey,
always
now,
love
Bob, being the king of affirmations, he's got something kind of special. Bob, tell us about this free ebook that you're offering tonight. And I'm going to put in the chat box again the link of how people can get it. But tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so it's actually something that Pookie and I wrote together some months ago. It's called How to Turbocharge Your Life, 5 Steps to Unleashing Your Purpose, Passion, and Play. And we share a lot of stories from our own personal lives, some as a couple and some individually, about challenges that we faced, how we overcame them, crazy, not some big, bold, audacious goals, or big, bold, bodacious goals that we set and achieved, and so just sharing, some steps to living a more empowered life. Really,
Absolutely.
because our mission is kind of to reconnect you with purpose, passion, and play, so that you can live a big, bold, bodacious life.
And be really happy at the same time.
Not that there
And
are.
for those of you watching on Facebook, you get it by going to bobbakerinspiration.com.
Correct.
bobbakerinspiration.com. I've put it, of course, in the chat box. Everybody, I suggest I want to
absolutely
turbocharge my life.
Absolutely free. can't beat it there. And there's we left you that'll get you on our email list as well, and we'll be able to stay in touch with you and keep and you'll be in the loop on our newest videos and music and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
I love you too so much. I know that you'll be back with us sometime, hopefully soon. And Sunday morning, let's all tune in tomorrow morning on your YouTube channel. What do you guys got planned for tomorrow morning? What are you going to be focusing on?
We're going to be so we have a different theme every month. So actually, obviously, the holidays is in December. So it's actually going to be a season of celebration. We're going to be specifically talking about the diversity of holiday celebrations or of many cultures around the world. Christmas just being one of them, and so we're just going to be doing that, singing some songs,
Connecting our global family, right?
And
Honoring our differences and celebrating our unique diversity.
Yeah. So that's the theme specifically for tomorrow. That's 10 a.m. Every Sunday morning. And just go to Bob Baker Affirmations. If you look for that on YouTube, you quickly find the channel, and that's where we'll be.
10 a.m. Eastern.
10 o'clock Pacific time. 10 o'clock Pacific time.
Eastern.
Eastern. So you'd be
10 o'clock Eastern.
7 a.m. Pacific. Yeah. I don't blame you if you're still asleep, Scott.
It's all good.
Especially you'll be up till 3 a.m. just with this show alone. Just kidding.
Love you guys so much. Thank you for being with us.
Great to see you, Scott. Great to meet everybody else.
We love you too.
All right, let's go to, we have one more young person to hear from. I believe that once again, we're going to ask for you to introduce them, please. Adriana.
So I'll be introducing Adriana Araya. So it's funny because I never had Adriana as a student before. And the thing is, irregardless of that, I chose her to be our club's vice principal. And that's because Adriana, just from seeing how she's been in Model UN, has a lot of talent. Just based on her charisma and the way she communicates with people and the way she carries herself, she has a lot of good relationship ability forming with others, and not to mention she has a lot of perseverance and courage. I understand there's been a lot going on at school, and despite all these different challenges, she continues to have a smile on her face and brush it aside. It's like it doesn't faze her, but I know it's tough and I know it's hard, but she's like, irregardless of all these things, she's doing what she needs to do. She's pushing forward, and she's continuing to pursue her goals. So I'm really proud of her for that. And I know because of how tough she is, right? And because she's tough, and at the same time, she demonstrates to others how inviting and how welcome she is, she's also going to be able to do whatever she wants in the future. So without further ado, here's Adriana Araya.
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Adriana Araya. I am a current senior at the Newark School of Global Studies. It's such an amazing opportunity to be here tonight and speaking with all of you in the presence of so many people who are contributing to our awakening world. I believe that in this ever-evolving and awakening world, that we, younger generation, people like me and Rachel, have a responsibility for creating the society in which those after us will enter. And for me, this responsibility begins with meeting with our future leaders and fostering a sense of pride and ambition to continue to contribute to our awakening world, and providing these positive role models for our generation does exactly that. Being able to enter a space like this just shows me so much that there are other people who share this belief with me and are working towards building these amazing environments where young students, young ambassadors have the outlets and the contacts to reach out and contribute. And going back to what Rachel mentioned, I, in my portion of the presentation, speak about how important it is to provide role models to young children, especially during the adolescent period of their development, and how these positive role models have such amazing repercussions in their lives and society. 1 out of 4 kids don't have a role model that they can identify with. And so by going into these communities and connecting them with local role models who they can speak with, who they can network with, who they can learn one-on-one, doing hands-on work, gives them that identifiable role model. And the benefits of an identifiable role model are just amplified when you know them interpersonally. I first truly understood the impact of role models, again, at that young stage of adolescence. As a first-generation Latina living in an inner city, I always struggled with my identity, worrying whether I was good enough to fit an American standard. while simultaneously trying to maintain my culture and staying Latina enough for my family and my peers. And in that time of struggle, I resorted to books and to politics. And that's where I met one of my biggest role models to this day, Sonia Sotomayor, who is the first Latina Supreme Court Justice. She, like me, was first generation, living in an inner city, living in New York City. And to see a woman who was from the same place as me, who looked like me, who grew up in the same environment as me, made me realize I could do anything. She was from the same background and just felt so inspiring. And when she became my first role model, besides my parents, she inspired me to go into the world of leadership. And from then on, I began doing pageants to connect with my voice and my community. And I met girls who looked like me, who were doing the same things as me. And I began building that network, building that community. And one day, this journey that I embarked on brought me to a place where I became a role model for girls who were just like me in the same exact situation. And the fact that I could inspire these girls and be present in such a life altering way was so impactful to me, to know that I could do the same for them as somebody who had done for me. And from then on, I never stopped. Ever since then, I've done more pageants. I've volunteered every spare hour that I could, and I've taken important positions to represent youth like myself in the community. And I even recently created a space for youth like me to create a network, to reach out to role models in the world. And eventually, all these amazing opportunities that were afforded to me came full circle. And I got to meet Sonia Sotomayor. And when I met her, I told her how much she inspired me, how one day I want to be exactly like she was. And she proceeded to look me in the eyes and tell me, "You don't have to be like me. You be exactly who you are, because one day you're going to be a role model to a beautiful young woman just like yourself, no matter what you do." And I've carried those words with me from then on, and I live by the fact that each and every one of us, just by existing, just by being in a space like this, just by contributing to our ever evolving world, our awakening world is having a major impact on the generations to come. Role models are essential to our adolescent youth. Providing these positive role models could save lives, craft future leaders, and build our ever awakening world. We must never underestimate the good we do simply by being present and giving the young people around us the opportunity to rise up the way Taz has done for so many young women that, like we've seen today, or the way Mr. Anthony does with students all over. And I believe I'm contributing to our ever awakening world by going out into my community and relentlessly and tirelessly working to provide these role models for our youth, whether it be me, whether it be contacts that I can set them up with. And I provide them with opportunities that they don't think or never thought would have been possible. And one day I aspire to do this on a global level, whether it be providing education for kids without the resources in underprivileged areas of the world, or I'm helping aid equity for other underrepresented groups in more first world countries. I plan to play a quintessential role in cultivating the new wave of leaders who will one day reap the benefits of the awakening world we are building now, but also maintain it for generations to come, long after you and I are gone, because it is important to maintain and inspire those who are growing now.
Same thing that we've been doing. I'd love for you to share with our audience what's the vision we can hold for you and for your future.
For me, I would like to become a representative. I want to work with Pathways to Peace one day in a role the way Mr. Anthony does, or potentially even on a bigger scale, doing something for women, for so many underrepresented groups, because I think it's so important to give kids and whoever it may be these opportunities. So I want to go into the United Nations and I want to build something big that will impact generations, not just today or tomorrow, but let's say 200 years to come. Because it's important that we just maintain this piece that we're building now. So that's what I want to do. I want to go out into the world and do something on a global scale.
So once again, let's all hold that vision for Adriana, that she absolutely is going to build something that's going to last for at least 200 years. That's about 7 generations. And so that's beautiful, Adriana. And we're holding that vision. Maximum grace for you, Adriana. Maximum grace.
We are one. We are one. We are one. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. We are one. One love. We are one. One love. We are one love, yeah, yeah, one love, 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 one love.
You know, I like to play that song prior to the Global Peace Tribe announcements because so many of our announcements are supporting those people you've seen on the show. Of course, we started with the announcement from Zenka. Everybody write your Congress people. That's very important. I want to show you something really fun. And this leads to our first Global Peace Tribe announcement. Some of you saw this photo because we showed it once before. A lot of our friends, Alan Steinfeld, Deborah Giusti, the Stargate people, all took a trip to Egypt. And while Vivienne was posing with her husband for this photo, look at what was showing up behind the pyramid. That is not the moon. It is an extraordinary green orb that everybody saw, who was out there. All of a sudden, it showed up. And it was just one of many magical things that took place during the trip to Egypt. So next Wednesday night, our Awakening World show is going to be dedicated to really being with our friends. We're going to have Vivienne Chauveau, who's an amazing channel. She's been on the show a few times. The Stargate people, Julianne and Pragit, and of course, Deborah Giusti, sharing with us all about what took place and is happening on the planet. And have you noticed how many people are going to Egypt right now? Well, there's a lot going on in Egypt, so we're going to learn all about that. Now, that'll be our Awakening World show next week, but I do want to encourage people to register because Deborah is going to be providing the people that come in through her registration, it's still free of charge, a very special gift. So I'm going to put into the chat box in a little bit how you can register. It's going to be really a powerful time to learn about what happened in Egypt and to carry on with the activation that started while they were in Egypt. So I'm putting into the chat box right now where you can register or just show up for the Awakening World, the regular show. The next friend of ours that I want to acknowledge is our good friend Eden Amadora. She's one of my favorite co-hosts. We're going to be co-hosting quite a few shows coming up. And she's doing a special Zoom this Monday morning at 11 o'clock. She had an amazing life. She was a supermodel at age 18. She was traveling all over the world. She married a jet-setting playboy, billionaire, and she gave up that entire life for her spiritual path. And she's quite an amazing woman. And so she's going to share her story and parts of her story that she's never shared publicly before. So again, this is a free online Zoom. Get raw, real, and intimate with Eden. And you can find out all about it by going to the website, and I'll put it in. Just register, and you'll get the Zoom room. I'll be there. It's going to be a really interesting event. I want to bring up one of our wonderful global peace tribers. You always see her moving and grooving. I can always count on Diara to be moving and grooving to the music. And since this show is dedicated to young people, how perfect, because she's got something very special she's going to be doing that we all want to support. So welcome, Diara.
Hi, thank you so much, Scott. Hello, everybody. And the moving and grooving, I feel like I just met my superstar idols, Pookie Lee and Bob. I love your song. I spent months listening to the lyrics to get it down. So it was so wonderful. Thank you. This is so amazing. I've been a teacher for 40 years in the schools. I started out working in the juvenile court schools with gang members. I went on to do interfaith work with the IIRP doing restorative practices, restorative justices. Then I became a special education teacher and ran the department for the district that I was in. All the while, even with the interfaith work, I felt like there was something deeper we needed to address. And so I began a mission to bring spirituality into our schools. And I started teaching a program that was created in the court schools in a teachable moment when I almost had a spiritual gang war on my hands. And it became spiritual diversity in education. And I say the spiritual nature of a human being is by far the most invisible part of the whole. To have an educational system where everyone is truly seen and every voice heard, we must include the topic of spiritual diversity. And so when I started that 30 years ago, the word spirituality was not even used in our culture the way it is now. And I insisted that spiritual and education be in the same sentence. So that's something that I offer for free to any schools, K through 12, through college. If you want some help bringing this in, I can do that for us. And I have a YouTube video, why we need to teach spirituality in our schools, that you can look at. My most recent project is going even deeper in terms of teaching kids about our unseen world, the subtle energies. When we're moving and grooving and using our hands, we're literally moving energy through the ethers. And so on Saturday mornings, this is for the littles, the young ones, age 7 or younger, depending on who they are, up to 13 or more. It's subtle energy education for the kids, and I call it Cosmic Kids Corner. So we're also, I don't know if Zenka's still here, we're also appealing to the galactic nature of who we are as cosmic beings walking the earth. So this is a forum Saturday mornings, 7:30 Pacific time. And I want to have a Zoom room where the kids can come in. I've got kids from Texas, California, Minnesota coming, and just want to offer that to all of us in the Global Peace Tribe, the Awakening World, Twin Ray community, and beyond, so that the kids can come in and meet each other and talk about things the way that we do when we get together on the Awakening World, because they see things, they hear things, they want to be able to understand their extra sensory gifts, as well as to communicate with each other how they see the world and how it differs perhaps from someone that they love and know, that a deeper conversation that we can provide to them. So that's a little bit there.
Yara, thank you so much. And put the link into the chat box for people where they can learn more about what you're doing. And thank you for your service to young people. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the moving and grooving.
Welcome for that too.
And our last announcement is really an important one. I have decided to do another season, another full season of Awakening World. And so I'm already booking shows for 2024, but I really need your support. It's really important because there are a lot of expenses that go into doing these shows, and a lot of time and energy. So please, please register now to join the Global Peace Tribe. Now, for those of you that are in our Zoom room, you're already registered through the end of December, but go ahead and register now. And what I'd really love to offer and ask people to do, and many of you have already done this, is if you come in at $75 or more, you can then give gift subscriptions of the Awakening World. We will continue to do at least 2, sometimes 3 shows a week. I think I'm going to do a few Sacred Sunday shows in 2024 because I kind of miss doing that. And it's really easy. For those of you watching on Facebook, the best way to join us is go to globalpeacetribe.com. Globalpeacetribe.com. Click register for the new season, and that'll take you to our registration page. And when you register, you're going to get the Zoom room links to all of our shows for the next 4 months, from now all the way through the end of March, December, January, February, and March, all the Zoom room links. And we're going to have lots of wonderful shows with some of your favorite presenters. There you see some of them on the poster. We also provide meditation twice a day, 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 at night. Here's, of course, the show that we just did on Wednesday night. It was really a 4.5-hour show all about ET diplomacy and creating a field of energy for first contact. And of course, this is the show that we're doing tonight, honoring our next generation of peace builders. So register now, join the Global Peace Tribe. We also are going to do at least 1 retreat, probably 2 in 2024, probably 1 in Ashland, Oregon, and probably 1 maybe in Southern California, maybe even 1 on the East Coast. So come join the Global Peace Tribe. We're a wonderful community of people, as you can see. And I think any of you who have been watching, those of you who might be discovering us for the first time, come be a part of this beautiful, ever-growing Global Peace Tribe family. Thank you for your support. We need it. And it's an exciting time. And it's a scary time. Let's face it, there's scary things going on in the world. And on the Awakening World shows, you're going to get the information of what's happening from a very positive perspective, from the inspired perspective. You're going to, every show I'm dedicated, and those of you who've been with me for a long time know our shows are always inspiring. Even when we're dealing with difficult topics, I make sure that we have presenters that have a point of view that helps us to see the big picture, because together we are creating truly an awakening world. It's happening, and it's happening with each and every one of us. We're all imaginal cells finding each other to create the butterfly of the new paradigm. So with that, I am going to bring back up Tez and all of our presenters, actually, for any final questions or comments. So I'm going to bring up all of our young people, of course, bringing up George. Bob and Pookie are still with us, so they get to come back up. And I'm going through looking for who else is still with us. There's Omashar. We're going to bring him up. And by the way, we are going to have a KES group healing tonight with Natalie, who's coming to us from Europe. So we are going to have that. I think all of the young people went to bed.
Yes,
Yeah,
Scott.
well,
Garrett.
it's almost midnight where they're at. So, and they were awake, as George said, at 5:30 this morning for presentations and other things they had today for the conference. And they're going to be what, George? Doing
Again,
a model UN thing tomorrow morning?
Yeah, so their bus leaves at 6:30 a.m. Same as this morning. Their bus was at 6:30 a.m. So they're going to be up, and again in about 4.5 hours.
Oh my gosh!
And they've been going since 5:30 this morning. So
yeah,
thank goodness they are as young as they are, because
yes,
I would not be.
I agree.
With that.
Thank you, Garrett, for hanging in there with us, even though it's quite late. I so appreciate you. So,
Thank you
yes.
so much for having me.
Tez, you did a great job of pulling this together. George, Anthony, I so respect the work you're doing.
Thank you,
Pookie,
Scott.
you know how much I love you.
Yes.
And I'm going to turn it over to Omashar for a closing song, and then we could go to Natalie for a beautiful group KES healing. So Omashar, take it away, brother.
I will. Thank you so much. What a beautiful program. And Diara, I had no idea about that about you. That's a fantastic program you have. So here we go. What do you see when you're alone? What do you feel when you are by yourself? How could it be that you are here? Isn't it strange the way things are? Look at the river flowing by, and look at the colors of the butterfly. How do you feel about your life? Isn't it strange the way things are? Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on and you say, the water's fine, I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend, I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you and is here to lead the way. La, da, da, da. Oh, and now that you see you're not alone, and there is no such thing as by yourself, and there is a hand that's lifting you into the presence of yourself. And life is a tale that never ends. There is a purpose to each heart that beats. You are the river flowing by. You are the colors of the butterfly. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. You say the water's fine, I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend, I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you and is here to lead the way. Oh,
deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. La, la, la,
Small Twinkle, my beautiful, beautiful closing song. So beautiful. Thank you so much, beloved brother Omashar.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
And welcome, Natalie. Holy smoke.
And you know what, Omashar? In all the things we've talked about today, I forgot to take people to the actual Pathways to Peace website,
Which
is
you're going
like
to do
about
right
the most
now.
important,
Yes.
which I am going to do right now. I'm going to bring Tez up again as we take a look at it, because this is the organization that's making it all happen. And Tez, really, I think we all have just been blown away with the amazing young people that we've met today.
Aren't they
And
incredible? I mean, it's really, I mean, this is why I love to do the work I do. Among so many other things, I am so inspired every day by our youth. I feel so privileged, and Garrett knows this. I feel so privileged to be able to walk alongside each of them in this journey of peace. So I give it all back to them, truly. Yeah.
well, let's all give you our support. So the overall organization is pathwaystopeace.org, founded by beloved Avon Madison. I'm hoping she's watching tonight with a big smile
Yes,
in her
she
angelic
is.
heart.
She was very dedicated to youth and empowerment of youth. And she passed a little over 2 years ago. And so some of the youth that you saw tonight had the mentorship of Avon as well. And so she's been with us. She's here. So,
Absolutely.
so you'll see if you look at our website, it's when you go there that under programs, you'll see Mr. Anthony's Peace Build, Peace Education. You'll see the Girls Shelter in Guinea. You'll see our nuclear disarmament in Albania, which is led by one of our Pathways to Peace youth representatives, our Exceptional Women of Peace Awards, Wisdom Keepers. We've got a lot there for you to take a look at. So we hope you'll come and visit. And we're just very grateful for the opportunity you've given us, Scott, to have this platform for the wisdom of
let's
youth.
do it again. I'd love to book the first quarter of 2024, maybe in February, because you said there's older ones, and I would love to meet the ones that have been in your program a little bit longer. So
they're fantastic, aren't they, George?
Yeah, but Tez, with all due respect, Tez is tireless and devoted to all of us. I mean, we can't do what we do without Tez. And Tez, I don't know if she ever sleeps. Maybe she did in 2020 or 2021. But Tez is 24/7. She's just an extraordinary human being. So I'm just so blessed.
I could not do it without you, George. You know that it takes a team, and how delighted are we that Tawheed is part of the team as well. So it takes a team, and yeah, we're like this. So it's
beautiful
good.
job. Beautiful job. Stick around because there's going to be a beautiful healing experience. For those of you watching on Facebook that might be new to us, every Saturday night now, we conclude our show with Christic Energy System Group Healing. This is a very powerful form of energy healing that has come through the Twin Ray, our beloved Shekinah Ma and Sananda Ji. They've personally trained the people that you see leading this every week. And we were going to have Norman doing it this week. We had booked him months ago, and he came down with something. And so he texted me this morning saying, Scott, can you find somebody to cover? And God bless Natalie, who's coming to us from Switzerland, where it's 4:00 in the morning, I'm guessing, something like that. So, and I know you've been with us for quite a while. So Natalie, thank you for jumping in, covering for our beloved Norman. And we've had you on the show before doing this, and I'm just really grateful that you're with us again tonight.
My pleasure. Real pleasure.
Natalie, I'm just going to turn it over to you to lead us as you will.
Okay. I think we can go directly inside. The energy has been building up. So I would invite you to step inside and really see what needs healing or holding tonight. See what is important for you. And if there's nothing important, allow the magnificence of this energy holding to do its miracles on its own. So as we center ourselves in our hearts, we reconnect with all parts of ourselves. The more known ones and the unknown ones. As we create together with all parts of ourselves. We open the doorways of the heart. As we call in our mothers and our fathers, our brothers and our sisters, all our guides, our higher selves. And tonight our cosmic selves and galactic selves are asking to come through. Allow it if it is the best for you. And breathe deeply as we anchor the Christic energy system healing Tesseract above us all. Opening our connection to the heart of Mother Gaia. Bringing in our love and our light. Anchoring it through our physical body. And allowing all the information to pass through. That is the best for you. In the divine moment of the now. Calling in your future selves so they may assist and accelerate the process if it is the best for you. I, Natalie Elianitya, call upon the Cosmic Christ Supreme Intelligence to support and facilitate this group KES holding session. I've asked permission from all receivers present and those that will look at this recording later to receive this group holding with the highest good and divine grace for all involved. I request on behalf of those present and future to become aligned for the duration of this session to the divine intelligence of the Christic energy system with grace, with ease, and with joy. I invite the cosmic Christ energy to connect with us now in the most appropriate way for all involved. May all that transpires in this microcosmic reflection of our group constellation support and uplift the ascension of the earth, ascension of the entire human collective and all sentient life. As we call forth assistance from the Divine Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Father presence, calling in Shekinah and Sanantaji to overlight this group container with pure unconditional love from the Most High. May we all receive this blessing. May all be known through this connection of pure love, so that the group holding session anchors in us in the most benevolent way. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Thank you, and so be it. Flowing energy. Wholeheartedly. Thank you. Sound. And we gather together. May your path ahead be blessed with divine grace. Together.
Thank you so much, Natalie. We're having a little trouble hearing. Your sound has gotten muffled, but your energy is incredibly beautiful. And I've put into the chat box how people can reach you. For those watching on Facebook, her website is her name, Natalie Mousha. I'm going to spell it for you, NATHALIEMOUTIA. And here's her beautiful, beautiful website. Discover the Sacred Codes. Again, that's NATHALIE, Natalie, spelled that way. And the last name is MOUTIA.com. And Natalie does provide healings. I've had a personal healing from her. It was very beautiful. She's quite a gift to our Global Peace Tribe. So really grateful for you, Natalie. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you. It's been a beautiful evening, everybody. Wishing you a very sacred Sunday tomorrow. And join us next Wednesday night as we go to Egypt together. We're all going to go to Egypt together. So it's going to be very special. I love each and every one of you. Amashar, thank you so much. Natalie, thank you again. Tez, what an amazing night. And I definitely want to do another one with you, maybe like in February or March with your older ones. And I'm going to go to gallery view so everybody can say goodnight. Take care, everybody. God's blessings and beautiful, beautiful sacred Sunday tomorrow. Good night, everyone.